Good morning and good evening, and welcome to the day two session demo. So, you can take it as a demo or you can take it as a real session.
Mhm.
So, fine, like yesterday, we were discussing something about the Ansible. We discussed something about like Ansible is an open source automation tool, and it is basically configured or it is basically developed for Linux, Unix, and Microsoft Windows initially, right? But later on, like there are many developers because as the Ansible was an open source automation tool, people like you and me, like people who are good in Python, they started developing the Ansible automation tool, right? So they developed the modules, they developed the plugins, they developed the APIs, and they started integrating the uh, you know modules and APIs and plugins to communicate with cloud environments, Dockers, Kubernetes. Okay, then we have something called virtualization. There are many tools. There are many tools. Okay, which has been can be managed using something called Ansible automation tool. Okay, so this is what exactly we discussed, and we also discussed that Ansible was released somewhere in 2012 by Michael D. Hans. Okay, so this is what exactly all the things we have discussed, and whatever the tools that is done for configuration management, server deployment, or you want to do ad hoc commits, all features are being wrapped up into a one single tool that is nothing but Ansible. So we can say it is something like end-to-end support for your infrastructure, infrastructure management or infrastructure automation. This is what exactly. And then, like, we also discussed that in 2015, Ansible was acquired by something called Red Hat. The reason behind is they want to, Ansible is a very good tool, but they want to enhance the features of the Ansible. They want to take this into a next level, into an enterprise level market where it can handle like thousands of machines, lakhs of machines automation. That's the reason they have integrated a a web-based UI, and that web-based UI is called Ansible Tower, right? So basically, it provides you an HTTP-based URL. Using that URL, you will try to put your credentials and you log in, and you will see a dashboard with all the detailed informations, right? This is what exactly we discussed yesterday, and we also discussed why Ansible is simple and why it is powerful and why it is agentless. So Ansible is agentless because of that reason only. It has a lot of demand in the market. Initially, of course, right now also, people use Ansible because it is an agentless. Because we are not going to configure any separate agents for it. We are going to use an existing service which we use to communicate with Linux or Unix, even for Windows. The same services, we are going to use it for communicating Ansible server to client or control node to manage node, we call it as, right? And what we can do, all these things we have discussed today. I think up to here we have discussed, right? And today, like what we are going to do is we are going to discuss something about architecture. So what is architecture here? We can say architecture, or you can say this is a terminology that we are going to use when you start working with the Ansible, right? So whenever we communicate with the Ansible, first thing we should know that we need exactly two missions. We need exactly how many missions? Two missions we need.
True.
So why we need two machines here is one machine is going to act as a control node. The other machine is going to act as a manage node, right? So like you might have a question, what is control node here? Exactly what it does. So basically this is my control node here, and always remember the control node should be always Linux. Of course, it can be Windows also. because recently, not recently, a 4 5 years onwards, you know, even your control node can be a Windows machine. There is no problem, right? So packages are available not only for Linux, even for Windows, even for Mac operating system also. The packages are available. Ansible packages are available, right? Even of course, you can also use Ansible packages even in Ubuntu, e- even in SUSE Linux. Everywhere you can use it. Most of the demandable Linux flavors. For these Linux flavors, we have the Ansible package is available. Red Hat is directly providing it, right? And I mean, Red Hat is providing means not only Red Hat, I mean, of course, within the Ubuntu ISO image, whatever you download, within that only there is a built-in package, Ansible built-in package is available, right? So remember one thing, like first thing is we have a machine called control node. Why we call it as a control node means because Ansible is installed and running. Okay, this is what it's. It is installed as well as it is running, right? So, okay, fine, boss, it is installed and running. Okay, that's fine. Now, you might also have the question like, boss, should I follow any prerequisites to install Ansible? Because, like when we install Oracle or SAP or MariaDB or Java or some other database application or any other software you're going to install, what we will do, tell me? We will first see the prerequisites here. Where we can find the prerequisites, basically when you go get into the installation documentation, there you are going to get all the details. For example, if you are using Linux, they properly give us information saying that this particular version or this particular release only supports 9.x or 10.x or 8.x, right? For example, if you want to use this software which supports 9.x in 10.x, this patch need to be updated. Like this you can do. And minimum hardware configuration also is very, very important. So minimum hardware is nothing but like when you install any application, how many CPUs you need, how much processing power you need, whether it is 2 gig, 4 gig, 8 gig, they will provide you. And how much memory we need. Memory is nothing but RAM. So whether it is 8 GB, 16 GB, or you need any swap space, or whether you need a disk space, how much disk space you need, and this is all prerequisites we need to follow, right? Or before installing any software, you should go with something called upgradation or patching process will be there. We have to perform all these prerequisites before installing any application or a tool or database tools. Okay, this is what exactly, right? But remember, when it comes to the Ansible, Ansible is just a 25 MB package. Ansible is an just a 25 MB, 25 to 30 MB package. It's a very small package. Okay. And this package, in order to install this package, what is the basic prerequisite? The basic prerequisite is latest version of Python. You need something called latest version of Python is required. Okay. Apart from this, there is nothing else, right? So now you will ask me latest version of Python. When you go with the older versions of Red Hat, basically Python has 2 to 3 different variants we have. Basic level, intermediate level, and advanced level, right? So whenever you install operating system, it used to install basic to intermediate level packages only. Okay, but it doesn't install something called, the updated version of Python. So that's the reason what we used to do is we used to install Python first, and then later we used to install Ansible, right? But or else when you are configuring yum repository, when you are installing Ansible, it automatically searches for the prerequisites or dependencies. Then it will try to install the Python, the latest version of Python, and then it will install the Ansible. This is what exactly happens, right? But remember, like from Red Hat 8 onward, what the Red Hat has done is they have prepared the operating system in such a way that it has to support Red Hat, Ansible software without any issues, right? So that is the reason when you install Red Hat Linux operating system, by default, the entire packages that is required for Python will be updated. In case if anything is missing, then while installing the Ansible, it will try to update. This is what exactly we're going to do, right? So now this is what exactly, and the other thing here is, right, many times we have a question, was when you are installing Ansible on any machine, as you have, right? What kind of machine it should be, right? Can I install on my workstation? Can I install on my laptop? Can I install on virtual machine? Where I can install? You can install anywhere. You can install anywhere, right? It can be any production environment. It's a core production environment. It is running 24 by 7, 365 days. Okay, always the server has the utilization beyond the 70, 75, 80%, even on the particular machines also, on the particular servers also, you can install Ansible, right? Now you will have a question, will it affect any, machine performance? Nothing. So why you are installing Ansible? Ansible, we call it as an Ansible engine. What is the use of this Ansible engine? Whatever the playbooks that you create, we are going to run the playbooks to the target machine. Are you getting it? We are just running it or executing it, right? So when you run it, what happens, it will connect to the remote machine. What is my remote machine? My remote machine is something called a managed node. This is something called remote machine, managed node, target node, anything you can say. Manage, or you can say target. This is what exactly, right? So you're going to connect to this particular, control node to a managed node here. So once you connect to the control node to managed node, okay, it will push the code. How it is going to push the code? It is going to use something called SSH, something called key-based authentication. Key-based authentication, right? It is going to use something called key-based authentication. It is going to use it. So as it is using something called key-based authentication, remember, right? And it is going to connect to the remote machine and it will try to push the code here. And as it push the code here also we need something called Python. So as we need here also Python, why we need a Python? Because we are going to push the playbook. Whenever you push the playbook, it has something called modules and it has information, right? So
Mhm.
when it pushes there, it requires the Python to run that particular modules and the configure whatever you have instructed within the playbook. This is what exactly happens, right? So now you should understand one thing, the control node job is to just run and push the code onto the target. Getting it? So nothing else here. Okay. And one more thing I can tell you, like wherever on the core server, I mean core production server, where you install Ansible, we never connect to that particular machine to create a playbook. Now you'll ask me then how you're going to create a playbook. Like yesterday we discussed, we are going to use something called IDE tools, right? So what is this IDE tools? Basically, it is Visual Studio Code, PyCharm, right? Eclipse, Notepad++. Like this, there are many types of software which is available, right? So you will be sitting on your Windows laptop and you're going to use this IDE tool and you'll start writing the playbooks for whatever the task that you require. That might be a kernel patching, that might be user creation, that might be MariaDB installation, that might be something called a web server creation, or many more things that you can do, right? So this is what
Mhm.
exactly you're going to write it. But now after creating the playbooks, what you're going to do is you're going to upload this particular or sync this particular playbooks from your machine to GitHub using something called Git. Okay, using Git to GitHub, you're going to upload the playbooks. From there, you're going to call and you're going to run. This is what exactly happens, right? Now, good. Now you have understood something about what is control node and what is managed node. But remember, when I'm just talking about manage right now, right? When I'm talking about the managed node, see, in your data center, you might have 5,000 machines. Do you think that
Mhm.
all these 5,000 machines are your target machines? Really? No.
No.
Right? Because in this particular 5,000 machines, there might be a 500 or 1,000 or 1,500 or 2,000 might be your target machines, right? But how should I identify these 2,000 machines? Now take an example. In this 5,000 machines, like my client or a customer has listed me 2,000 machines. What is mean by listed? Listed is nothing but they have given me the machine IP address or host name or FQDN. This is what they have, right? There might be here given something called IP address, host name, or FQDN, something they have given to us to communicate. So when they give you this 2,000 machines list, right? Now what you will do, when you get this 2,000 machine list on the control node within your home directory. What is mean by within your home directory? Assume that every time when I log into my Ansible control node, basically I'm going to log in as a user called what? Ansible. And
Ansible.
whenever I just try to put PWD, I will be placed somewhere in my home directory, right? And within my home directory, what I do is I will create one folder with the name called project, right? But before you create a project, assume that you got a 2,000 machines list. But do you think that this 2,000 machines belongs to one single project, one single department? No. It might be, 5 to 6 projects or 5 to 6 departments, right? So for example, we have a something called sales, finance, HR, right? Or I'm going to, if it's a banking sector, saving account, right? Current account, right? Like this you have it. Yeah. Assume that these are the machines which is related to, this department. Now what I'm going to do for every within my home directory, whenever I log into my account, okay. So what I'm going to do, I log in as an Ansible user. Here, what I'll do is mkdir. I'm going to create a directory with a name called I'm going to create a directory with a name called finance. I'm going to create a directory with a name called HR. Like this. So why you're creating like this? Because whenever I try to segregate the machines related to the sales, what I do is within the sales directory, CD sales, CD sales, when I get into this particular directory, what I'll do is I'll create a file with the name called inventory. And within this inventory, I will update the 200 machines which are related to them, right? The same thing I will do it for even for finance. I will try to get into the finance here. Then I will try to, create an inventory. Okay, the 500 machines related to the, you know, finance. This is, and again, I'll go to the HR and I'll try to get into HR here and I'll try to create an inventory. So inside the inventory, I'm going to update the 100 machines related to the HR. Are you getting it? So this is what, right? Now you'll ask me why you're doing like this. I'm segregating it because whatever the task that I'm going to perform for the sales machine, I'm not going to do it for the finance. And whatever the things I'm going to perform for the finance, I'm not going to perform the same thing for the HR. It is totally different. Yes or no? Right? So this is what exactly how you're going to go. Yeah. So now what I'll do is very simple. I'll try to create an inventory file here. So I'll create something called inventory file, inventory, and I will try to update my host names here. Manage node, server A, 192.168.139.128, or I'll try to put server B dot example dot com. Like this, I will try to update. Understanding, right? Understood like what is inventory. And this is
Yep.
something called a static inventory. Remember, this is something called a static inventory. Whatever the inventory that we are going to create within the control node, within your project directory, it is something called a static inventory. Exactly. And until unless you will not update a host name or IP address or fully qualified domain name of a target machine, it Ansible control node will not allow you to communicate with the management. So this is very, very important thing that you need to know. Clear? Understand? Is there any questions here? Yes, please. Can you acknowledge me?
Uh, I just have one question, sir.
Yeah.
So when we connect from this control node to manage node with
Mm-hmm.
all these details, and let's say
Mm-hmm.
when the file is pushed,
Mm-hmm.
what if the control node goes down? Will it still perform the activities on managed node, or those activity will also stop?
Basically, when the control node goes down, because it's a
Mm-hmm.
standalone machine, right? It doesn't have any
Yeah.
alternative backup, right?
Okay.
So definitely the entire thing will go.
Okay. Though
Okay.
it's complete the push to the control node, sorry, manage node,
Mhm. But
it
still,
will
see,
still.
that depends on the task.
Yeah.
See, basically, right now we are
Okay.
doing the small things here. We are
Uh-huh.
writing a playbook which contains one
Yeah.
or two plays, and a
Mm-hmm.
play contains 3 to 4 tasks. Like this, we have.
Mm-hmm.
But take an example, we have a playbook which contains more than one play. We might have a 10, 15 plays, and each play
Oh,
has
okay.
something called 50 to 100 tasks also, right?
Mm-hmm.
So when you're doing like that, so
Mm-hmm.
definitely when it pushes it, right, it
Mm-hmm.
has to perform. It is not going to perform only on one single machine, right? Maybe you might have a 200 machines here like this,
Mm-hmm.
right? Now, when it is pushing the code here, right, it has done
Mm-hmm.
50%. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Then see, it has to confirm me, right? When it's complete, it has to get me a signal here. Then it will target to
Mm-hmm.
this particular machine now.
Okay, got
Okay.
it.
When it gets a signal saying that it is completed, then by default it
Mm-hmm.
will try to target this one. Now, what happens when
Okay.
this particular control node is down because it's a standalone machine, there is no backup, there is no alternative, everything will fail.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't work.
Okay, got it.
You're getting my point. So this is what.
Mm-hmm.
That's the reason. See, this is all the drawbacks that we have. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
It's not drawback, it is a limitation we can say. Okay, what Red Hat has done, they are not developing much into Ansible engine that is called
Okay.
Ansible command line. That's the reason they came into
Mm-hmm.
something called Tower. So when you go for Tower, you can
Okay.
configure clusters.
Okay.
You
Okay.
can configure Tower clusters, you can
Cluster.
configure, right? So when you configure cluster, what happens? Even load is high, it will try to balance.
Mm-hmm.
If something goes wrong with the node 1, it will try to push all the jobs to the node 2. There is no
Okay.
downtime, right? And Tower also has
Mm-hmm.
one more feature. You can divide your workload into tier concept, right? 2 tier, 3 tier, like this we can go, right?
Oh,
So
okay.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
this is what all the features we have in Tower. That is the reason, like what people have done is the most of the enterprise level companies, they stopped using Ansible engine. They jumped into something called Tower. Even it is a commercial, even they are paying
Mm-hmm.
to the Red Hat, but
Mm-hmm.
there is a lot of features we have. There are a lot of features we have. That is the
Features.
reason, they are just jumping into something called a
Okay.
tower, or we can say AAP. It is called Ansible Automation Platform. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So this is what
Sure.
exactly how you're going to go. Yeah.
Okay.
Understand, right? So this
Yeah.
is what exactly how you're going to go. Now you understood what is inventory, right? So it's a simple thing. If my number is within your contact, that means you know me, right? If you know me, then only you
Mm-hmm.
can communicate. Yes or no? The answer inventory is also something like that. If you add this particular machine into your inventory, then you can communicate with this machine. Getting it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. For
Yeah.
example, we have a sales. Okay. Whatever the machines which comes under sales, if you add it into the inventory of sales, then only you can communicate with the 200 machines, right? Now take an example. We have 100 machines related to the HR. Okay, if it
Mm-hmm.
is there within that inventory, only you can communicate with this 100 machines. Otherwise, you can't.
Okay.
Getting it? So this is the
Mm-hmm.
way how it is going to go. Okay. So this is manually you need to do it. There is no automation process. Of course, we can
Mm-hmm.
also use a, you can write a playbook for this to update also, we can do it. But
Mm-hmm.
in real time, what people will do is when we get LS, they will try to update manually, right? Otherwise,
Mm-hmm.
if you say that it is not easy, then we will go for dynamic inventory, right? So
Okay.
dynamic inventory means no need to manually update anything here. No need to update anything. So we have some plugins. Using that plugins, we try to communicate with the machines dynamic,
Mm-hmm.
right? But it is
Mm-hmm.
always recommended to use dynamic inventory, especially for cloud environments, especially for
Okay.
virtualization, Docker, Kubernetes. When you go for this microservices, application, it is always
Mm-hmm.
recommended to use it. For what reason means maybe like in AWS, you know that not only AWS, you'd go with any cloud environment. So basically, when you spin up a machine, EC2 instance or virtual
Mm-hmm.
machine inside the cloud, it comes up with a dynamic IP. Okay. With the dynamic
Mm-hmm.
IP only, the host name or you can say IPv version DNS will be built, right? For example, you have shut down that particular machine, right? Automatically, you will lose the previous IP. And again, when you switch on, you'll get a new IP. Now you'll say, if I get new IP, what is the problem? Because with that new IP only, the IPv version for DNS will be updated. So the DNS name will change. Then it is
Yep.
difficulty for you to communicate. It is
Mm-hmm.
difficulty for you to communicate. This is very, very important thing that you need to understand. Is it clear?
Yeah.
Understood, right? So this is all about how we are going to work. This is all how we are going to work. Is it clear? Right?
Yeah.
Uh, right. So now, Habib, do you have any doubts, questions?
This DNS part we will take care of, Bala.
DNS,
Configuration,
no,
setup.
DNS will be taken care by the, like, we will have a separate admin for DNS who
Mhm.
will be taking care. But nowadays it is totally dynamic, right? No one is spending a lot of time on the DNS. When you go, if 10, 15 years back, we used to spend a lot of time to configure DNS server, forward resolving, reverse resolving, cache. So many things we used to do, right? So basically, the
Mm-hmm.
network admin used to take that
Okay.
responsibility. But
Okay.
now, even network administrator is also not taking. We have a certified DNS administrator. There is a
Okay.
separate
Okay.
certification for DNS, and people who work, they are certified, they are well experienced in the domain naming and all this thing. They are taking care of
You have to configure in both sides, huh? Manageable node and control node.
it. DNS, you're talking about DNS?
DNS, where you have to configure DNS server? Control node or manage?
No, no, no. DNS server is a separate machine. This all
Okay.
environment comes under a domain name, something
Okay.
called example.com. I have created a
Yeah.
DNS server which is separate from this environment.
Okay.
And of course, if you want, you can configure DNS server within your control node also when you're practicing, if you want to see how the domain name is going to work. But most of the time, when it comes to real-time environment, we configure AD, right? Windows
Yeah.
Active. Within that only, you will have a DNS, DDNS.
Yes. Yes.
Yes, all these things will be there within that only,
Okay, Bala. Go ahead.
right?
No.
And all this environment will be a part of that domain, part of that Active Directory. This is what
Okay.
exactly, right? So now you have understood something about the inventory. So inventory is a static file. We need to manually create it and we need to update it time to time whenever you get a list of machines related to the that particular department or a project. Maybe today you have updated 200 machines. Maybe after 6 months they might add another 10 machines. Yes, they will give you a list and you need to add it.
Mm-hmm.
So this is what exactly the continuous process of a Ansible. Now you understood this. Now we talk something about a playbook here, right? So many times like we have a question, how do we write a playbook? But before we write a playbook, let me talk something about a script. For example, I'm creating something called a script. So basically when you're writing a script, we try to put an extension called .sh. Why you are putting .sh? If you don't put .sh, it will not execute. It will execute, but just for understanding, when people get into some directory, when they see that .sh means they will understand it is a script, right? So this is what exactly. And within the script, we try to add something called shebang, right? So,
Yeah.
so like what is shebang here? It's something called a shell, interpreter we call. If you're writing a script with the bash, you will put bash. If you're writing this script with the bourne, you will put bourne. If you're writing a script with the con, you will try to put this con. This is what exactly we are doing. Yeah, understand. So at the same
Okay.
time, when you're writing a playbook, you can write a playbook. I mean, your playbook name might be anything here. I'm just putting web server, and your
Yeah.
extension should be .yaml or YAML. This is what, because you're using YAML to write the playbook, that's the reason you have to put extension as .yml or YAML. And whenever you're writing
Okay.
a playbook, you have to follow a rule like it should start with always three dashes and it should end with three dots. Right? Ending is not mandatory, but starting is very, right? So when you put three dashes here, within that you are going to write a play. I'm just putting a
Hmm.
word called play, but you have to write a code for that, right? And below the play, you need to write something called task. And below the task, you need to write something called modules for what purpose you're writing it. And we have to write something called options. This is what exactly the playbook structure looks. Getting? And okay, this is what exactly how you're going to go. Right? So now good, you have understood like playbook extension should be .yml or YAML and it should start with always with three dashes and this is a structure of your code. So this is what exactly how you're going to write the playbook now, right? Now good, now apart from this, when you're talking about a playbook, you should know something about module. What is module here? Now when I'm just comparing this module with the Linux, inside the Linux we have something called commands, right? What is this
Yeah.
command? We have something called user add command. Okay, we have something called fthis command. Okay, we have something called mkfs.xfs command. This is what I come, right? At the same time, when it comes to Ansible, we have a concept called modules. And remember, modules are developed based on what? Python. Ansible is developed based on the Python. Of course, the modules are also developed on the. And we have many modules, I'm telling you, right? Countless. Countless, I'm telling you, they are providing, Ansible is providing you by installation. With the default installation, you might get around 150 to 200 modules. And that is called a built-in modules for Linux, right? But beyond this, if you want to manage or administrate your AWS Cloud, GCP, Azure, or SAP, or MariaDB, or Oracle, or some tools like WebSphere, WebLogic, right? Apache, when you want to manage all these things, administrate all these things, you need to download the collection from the Galaxy and install it and avail the modules, right? So this is what exactly how the modules will be there. User is a module, group is a module, right? And we have a module like a file, and we have a module like command, we have a module like shell. We also have a module like line in file, right? Like this, there are many modules are available here. And how do we see these modules? Very simple. We have a command like Ansible -doc -l you need to put, right? So whenever you put Ansible -doc -l, it is going to give you a list of modules that is available within your control, right? Now you might have a question here, how many modules we have? Basically, when I just put WC here, it will try to provide me that there are around 3084 modules are available. Actually, how come this all modules are available means because I have installed all these collections. Because of all these collections, it has provided me the modules, right? If I have not installed these modules, I mean these collections here, then you might see around 150 to 200 modules. And these modules are Linux built-in modules, we call it as. It's something called Linux built-in modules, we call it, which we get by default with the installation, right? So later on, you can add this collection and you can work on it. Yeah. So this is what exactly. And yesterday I showed you, right, how to get the collections. You need to get into a Galaxy website and you
Yeah.
need to get the collections from there, right? So I can just show you here. Galaxy dot Ansible. Ansible dot. So when you get into this website here, you will see something called collections here. And when you just click on the collections, it will ask you like what collection you are looking for. You can put that name here, then you can start getting the collection. For example, I'll try to put something called web speed. Maybe I'll just like to put Apache. So this is all something related to Apache. Can you see this? This is what. So you can just click on this. Then it will try to take you here. Like it's
Mm-hmm.
going to give you. This is a command. This is the installation command that you need to take it and install it. But before that, go through the document, go to the content, see what are the dependencies, how it will work, and all these things you need to see. Then later you decide to download and use it, right? So this is the way how you're going to get the collections here, right? So you can just click more and you'll get the other things here. So you can just see this is related to the DBN, I think. You need to see this many versions it is available. They have updated
Mm-hmm.
just 2 months ago. Can you see this? This is one. So you can trust this. Even downloads are also very high. Can you see this? 5 lakhs 11,734 downloads it is happening. And the rating also they have given. They have given that it is having a highest rating like 4.9. Right? So now you can just go through this all documentation and content.
Mm-hmm.
Then based on that, you can work, you can download and you can install. And you know, this collection sometimes they provide you, it's a kind of free trial. You can use up to something called basic to intermediate level. And beyond that, if you want to use what they will recommend, they will recommend you to buy the license for it, right? Because this is not provided by the Red Hat, it is provided by some different vendor, right? So you need to reach out this
Mm-hmm.
particular vendor or author, whatever it might be. You need to contact them and you need to talk to them and get the license for this particular collections, right? So this is what exactly how you're going to work with the collections here, all right? So now good, now you have understood all about the collections here. Now let me show you, this is all about the modules. Then we talk something about API. We talk something about API. So you'll ask me what is API here? API stands for Application Program Interfaces. We are going to use these APIs especially to communicate with something called cloud environments. Not only cloud, I'm just giving example about a cloud here. Generally, because many times we try to work with the cloud, that's the reason. These APIs are helping you to communicate with the, you know, AWS console or GCP console for us. But not only API, we need plugins also. So you'll ask me what is the use of plugin? APIs are used for communicating with the AWS console using GUI. And if you want to communicate with the same AWS console with command line, we have to use something called plugins. Is it clear? Right?
Mm-hmm.
So this is the way how you're going to go. Yeah, right?
Yeah.
So we are going to use these plugins, especially when you're working with dynamic inventories. Okay, when we work with dynamic inventories, we try to use these plugins to communicate with the EC2 instance and try to pull their informations. This is what exactly we are doing, right? So we discussed something about inventory, we discussed something about the modules, we discussed something about API and plugins, and you also understood like how these playbooks are, written, what is the format of it, how do I start, how do I end, what is a structure. Structure means we did not discuss about structure. Structure is very important. Like when you're writing an HTML coding or when you're writing a Python coding, you have to follow something called a structure. So at the same time, when it comes to Playbook also, you need to follow a structure. It is not same like Python or shell script or some other thing. It's very simple. You can just learn within a 1 hour session. There's nothing to worry, right? And we, like users also, just I told you, right? The users are something like we have an Ansible user or DevOps user. We try to use it when it comes to our lab. But when you go to the real-time projects, you might have an account on all the server with your name or with your employee ID or something else it will be there. So using that account only, you will be managing everything, right? And you know what is CMDB, configuration management
Yeah.
database servers we call. So basically this plays a major role here. It acts as a dynamic inventory here. Okay, so this is what exactly. And you can manage your environment. Either it is public or private cloud also you can have, right? So this is very important thing. And there is no restrictions. Maybe your control node might be in a cloud. Okay, and your target nodes might be somewhere in your traditional data center. Now you will have a question, can I communicate from here to here? 100% you can. 100% you can manage, right? Many people they go for a cloud because high availability, right?
Mm-hmm.
Time is very low, right? So this is what exactly how it's going to go. Okay, because AWS or Google or Azure or you take any cloud, they give you okay 11 nines we call 11 nines durability or availability they will call you. So this is what exactly how it's going to go, right? And you can manage. Previously, we used to manage host and network, but you can manage anything, anything. Okay, so this is what exactly how this architecture is going to be, right? So then, like we are talking something about the tower here. So when I'm talking about a tower, right now this tower is called AAP. This is called Ansible Automation Platform. It is called. Actually, this tower concept has been taken from a open source uh, automation. I mean, web-based tool that is called AWX. Right? AWX is an open source, and it is alternative to the tower. Right? So that means any feature that you're going to get it in tower, first they do an R&D with AWX, and then they will bring it to the tower. This is what exactly it is going to be. And now when I'm talking about the tower expands the automation to your enterprise. So basically the first feature is control, schedule and centralizing jobs. This is what exactly. So you will ask me what is mean by schedule. When we used to work with Ansible Engine, we used to use an operating system schedulers like cron tab, act like this we used to use. But what is the problem with cron and act? Because if the cron has some issue, if it is down, all the jobs which you have scheduled based on the cron tab that will be hold it. It will not run, right? And centralization is very important. Okay. So basically, when we work with the control node, when we work with Ansible engine, there is no concept of centralization, right? So then the knowledgeable visibility and compliances are available. You have a proper visibility here, what's going on, everything will be there. And delegation is nothing but role-based access and self-services. So role-based means you can say that this particular people can access this particular project. Okay, this particular people can access only this inventory. Okay, like this you can decide the roles, right? And this is what exactly. And we have simple, everyone speaks the same language because as you know that Ansible is comes under declarative language. So it has a standard structure, standard language it is there. Because you're going to use YAML, you have to write. No one can deviate that structure, no one can deviate that language. Okay, this is very important. And powerful design for multi-tier, as we were talking about, right? Two-tier, three-tier architectures, and we also have a cluster. This is all very important when we work with the enterprise. And we have a concept called agentless. Agentless already we discussed. The agentless even supports the tower also, right? So this is what exactly how you're going to go with. And Ansible Core is an open source automation engine, right? This is what. So Ansible code is nothing but it's an open source automation engine. So whenever you install Tower or Ansible engine, you're going to get Ansible code only, right? So this is what exactly just now we were discussing about it. And Ansible Tower is a DevOps environment and Tower features, Ansible dashboard, job status update, activity streaming. This is what exactly managing, tracking your inventory, schedule a job, external logs, integrated notification, all these things has been supported, right? So this is what exactly, but let me do one thing. I'll just try to show you how a Tower setup looks. Let me show you because already we have seen how an Ansible, control node, that is nothing but Ansible engine looks here. And this is all the Ansible commands that we have, Ansible builder, config, so many things we have. All right. So this is one. So if you want to see how which version of Ansible is installed, you need to run Ansible hyphen version. So it is going to give you, it is 2.14.14 it is. And this is the configuration file, which is it is going to use it. And you can see all the dependencies is being shown. Okay. So this is all about how you're going to go about that, right? And libyaml is true. Because it is true, you can the playbook using the YAML, right? Then apart from this, like let me get into a Tower setup. I will just go to the browser and I'll try to put 192.168.139.181. So this is my Tower setup exactly. You can see this. So you're going to connect the Ansible Automation Platform. So it will ask you for the username. The username should be root and it should be admin, I think. So this is what exactly the Tower console looks like, right? The dashboard shows you how many hosts are integrated into your Tower setup and how many inventories we have, how many projects we have, all this information will be provided. You can click on jobs, it will show you what are the jobs, how many jobs are successfully run, how many are failed. You can see this is something called schedulers. Like there's so much information will be provided. So when we go with the Tower, once we complete Ansible engine, once we jump into the Tower, we will be discussing each and every feature of the Ansible Tower, except 2-tier, 3-tier, and clusters. Clusters also we'll try. Uh, I'm I'm not I'm not confirming right now, but I'm just saying for some alternative. I will update you. That is not confirmed. That is not confirmed. But we will see by the end of the of once we complete our Ansible engine, once we start our Tower setups, I will try. That's it. Okay. So this is what
So
it.
this is your tower setup, right, sir?
Yeah, this is my Tower setup.
You
Yes.
okay?
Yes, this is my Tower setup here for practice for demo sessions. I have set up,
Mhm. Okay.
right? And you can just see what is a version and all these things. Yeah, of course, you can just check out here. Help, not help. Actually, we need to go with about. When you go with an about, this is called Ansible Automation Platform Controller is 4.4.
Mhm.
This is what we are using it, right? This is all the information that you want to see. And you can see the subscription type also. I will try to show you subscription settings here. So you can see that my subscription type is what? Red Hat developer subscription for individual, right? Because I have went
Mhm.
for developer support, it will support 365 days. Getting it? It will support 365 days. See, you can see the expiry will happen when 13/12/2025. Actually, it is over.
Yeah.
Yes, it's long back I did it. That's the reason. It is showing. But when you go for this developer support, see, even
Uh-huh.
subscription overall, so it will work. But only thing, if you need any patches, small support, it will not.
It will not.
Okay, because I went with developer support, it will support 16 machines. If I go
Mm-hmm.
with a normal subscription, right, a trial
Mm-hmm.
subscription, it will be 60 days. Okay, this will support 100 nodes.
Okay.
But this will only support 60 days. If you go for
60
developer, it
days.
will support 365 days with 16 machines.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it is giving
Okay.
you, okay, minus it is giving. I'm going in minus. Can you see this? The
Yeah.
expiry happened, but I am in a minus this because almost
Mm-hmm.
this 5 to 6 months happened, right? That reason it is giving you. So this is all, of course, when we start working with the tower, you will come to know all these details. And remember
Mm-hmm.
one more thing here, very important. See, when you work with this console, right? When you work with the dashboard, and when you see your real time, your project or you're working with some client, it is
Mm-hmm.
the same console, same dashboard, but it is different. Why it is different, I will tell you. They will give you a customized dashboard there.
Okay.
What is customized based on your role, based on your experience, based on your skill set, they will allow you only this much. And this
Okay.
dashboard will give you that only whatever they are allowing you to see. And
Mm-hmm.
so that's the reason what happened, many times people when they get into the real time, I have learned something else, there is something here, nothing like that. They are going to limit you because here I'm logging as an admin, right? I'm a root
Yeah.
user. I can do anything. I can see everything, right?
Mm-hmm.
So this differences you will be finding when you are working with you might not see these administration tools at all there. Okay. So like this it will be there, right? So any questions, any doubts still here? I hope you have understood the things.
This tower we have to purchase, Bala, this
Not
license.
required, it's freely downloadable.
Okay, okay.
You can freely downloadable. Tower is nothing but you will download APP, right? Within
Ah,
that only the Tower software will be there.
okay.
Previously, what Red Hat has done is they are
Okay.
giving Ansible engine separately and Tower separately.
Hmm.
We require two different subscriptions. It might be trial subscription, developer subscription, or you are buying a real subscription also. We need two different subscriptions. But later on, we don't know, like Red Hat has merged these two things and they have come up with something called AAP. And what they are saying is we have a engine software there and even tower related frameworks, everything is available. One single bundle is going to give you everything. And the
Okay.
bundle is very, I mean, the size of the bundle it will be 2 GB, 2.5 GB, something it will be there. Okay. It will be more than 2 GB, I think. Understanding that. So this is what exactly how you're going to go. I hope you understood,
Hmm.
Yeah.
right? So this is all about our first day as well as second day. And if you have any questions related to anything else, you can ask me.
Bala, this in our company we have Suzy Linux.
Uh-huh.
On Suzy we can do all these things. Or
100% you can do it.
Suzy.
100.
Yeah?
Yes. But only thing is the few things will change. For example, I'll give you, I'm not good in SUSE Linux. I'll compare with Ubuntu. For example, you are working with Red Hat Linux and Ubuntu. In Red
Hmm.
Hat Linux, you are using yum. Okay,
Hmm.
even in Ubuntu, yum will work, but we will not use yum. There we will use APT, right?
Yes.
For example, in Red Hat Linux, you are using something called Apache, right? For configuring
Hmm.
a web server, right?
Okay.
Sorry, we are using HTTPD in Red Hat Linux. But when you go for Ubuntu, it is called Apache,
Hmm.
right? So these differences, if you know, then you can easily work on
Okay.
even SUSE, even in Ubuntu.
Okay.
There is no problem, right? You should know just the commands or modules, okay? And for example, like in Red Hat Linux only, we have two different modules here. Okay, there is a module with the name called service. What is the service module will do? If you want to start, enable, restart, stop, disable any services, we are going to use this. But from Red Hat 7 onwards, we have a service called what? System D, right? Because before Red Hat 6, before Red Hat 7, there was something called what? Init. They replaced this init with System D because they have come up with something called System D here. Inside the Ansible also, they have introduced a module called System D. Now the problem here is when people come to the Ansible, the older version, people who were working with older version, they are comfortable with what service? What module? Service. People who have worked or learned the new version, they are comfortable with system. So this is what exactly happens, right?
So we can do all the things in Suzy also, huh?
100% you can. Even you can do it in Windows also. I will tell you how. For example, I'm using Ansible -down and I'm using a module called user. So you know what is user module does? It will help you out in creating a user, right? Now take an example. Right now you're using this module, right? You're using this module. And the same module also available, with a different name, it is available for Windows also. Can you see this? Ansible.windows.win_user. Okay, there is no extra efforts need to be kept. When you're just going with this document, you just put a little bit more concentrate here. You'll come to know about it. Now tell me, like whatever I'm using in Linux, I can use the same options, same things, even in Windows also. Only thing is, instead of using user, I need to use what? Win_user. That's it. Or you use Ansible.windows.win_user. That's it. You're getting that, right? So this is the way how you have to work. This is what exactly can you see this? So any module that you're using, the document will be like this. If you just concentrate more on the documentation, you have to concentrate more on the documentation. Why I will tell you. See, I know the module, but I don't know how to use it. For example, you're working with Linux. I know the command, but I don't know how to use it. Okay. We used to use man pages, right? We used to take the help from the operating system. But nowadays we have a Google, we have a AI, people are getting into this. But if you go 15, 20 years back, you don't have.
It was man.
Okay. I have started my career 18 years back, and when I learned Linux, right? I don't know Google, I don't know AI, nothing. I used to sit in front of the machine, man page, read everything. Right? So this is what you used to do it. But nowadays people don't have that much time. What they are doing, they're getting into Google, they're getting into AI. But of course, AI also will get it from here only, right? Getting it? If vendor is not giving you manual page, from where the AI will get, where the Google will get it. Yes. So this is what exactly it is going to happen. So this is all the important things. So if you just put little bit effort, you will get everything. Yeah. For example, you talk about Oracle also. The Oracle module is same for all the flavors of Linux, Unix, and Windows also. Yes or no? Right? If you're using SAP, SAP for Linux, SAP for Windows, SAP for Unix, the concept is same, right? The module is same. Only thing is integration. Only thing is what? Integration is different. Simple thing. So this is how exactly you're going to go. Any other questions? Yeah, good. Any questions, any doubts related to it? And we are going to definitely do all the live sessions. We are not going to go a lot of course, theory is also important. Okay. But we will do more practical things. We will do more than 2, 3 examples for everything. Okay. Right. So this is what we are going to start from the scratch. You are going to learn how to write a playbook, how to use variables, how to use loops within that, why we have to use the loops, where we have to use the variable, what is Ansible Vault, everything. I'll give you the link for course content also. Just 1 minute. So, Ansible Automation Platform. So you can just have a look here. You can just go through this link, and we have a course content here. I'll just try to put it on the chat. You can just click on that, and you will get it the content. This is what it is. Totally, we have totally 20 modules, 20 chapters, or 20 modules, we can say. So once we complete Ansible engine, we will get into Ansible 2.
Okay.
And we are going to do more on the Linux. Of course, I'll also cover little bit on the Windows, Ubuntu. Even we will interact with the AWS cloud. It is not like that we will only do it on Linux. We will only complete with the line, not like that. I'll also give you, if you're interested more in the AWS, you can work more on the AWS. If you're more interested on Windows, you can work on more in the anything it can be, right? So this is what exactly. So any other questions and doubts, let me know.
Yeah, sure.
Is that no questions?
Yeah.
So done. Then if you are available tomorrow, we will continue. Otherwise, from Monday, we are going to continue the session.
Sure.
Continue Monday.
We will do it on
Monday.
Monday. Yeah,
Yeah.
okay, fine then. So I'll also share this recording also within another 1-2 hours. And
Mhm.
okay, then from Monday, we are going to go. I'll share the new link from Monday. Okay?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, okay. Right. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.